What's going on today, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today I have a first for this channel and a first for me personally. I have a wooden watch to show you guys. Now, wooden watches were trending for a while, but I never chose to pick one up because they kind of go against some of the things that I really love about watches, which is the fact that they're long lasting. You can keep them for generations, and also they withstand water, so you could take them swimming and things like that. However, wooden watches do make a pretty big fashion statement. Plus, for the price of the watch I'm about to show you, it doesn't really have to last forever. Before we get started, let me just say that this watch was sent to me for free for the purposes of this review. However, that's not going to affect my review in any way. I'm here to give you an honest review of this watch so you can make an informed decision on whether or not you'd like to purchase it. So without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead, flip the camera, dive down, and get into the review. Okay guys, so here it is, and here we have the watch, and here's the box that it comes in. Now this is an all wooden box. You got a little pillow in here. I have the spare links, a little hang tag, and they provided this little link removing tool. So I'm not sure if this will come with yours, but they did provide it in mine. So we'll start with the dimensions. This is a 45mm case diameter. We have 12 millimeters of thickness. It's a 12mm lug width in this little spot here, but the bracelet is 22.5 millimeters and it does not taper. And then we have a lug to lug of 55 millimeters. So specs, we have an all wooden case and bracelet. It's made of sandalwood, which is 80% biodegradable. Caseback seems to be made of a hardened plastic, and it's held on by screws. Flat mineral crystal, and there may be some anti-reflective coating. It's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like there might be a little bit. It's got a push-pull crown that appears to be alloy, but again, it's hard to tell. And there's no water resistance, as this is a wooden watch. It's got a stainless steel clasp and an unknown quartz day-date movement. Price of this is $45 on Amazon or AliExpress, and I have a coupon code that I'll put up on the screen. It's a Father's Day sale, so I believe it's 25% off. They tell me 15% off Amazon and then 10% off product page, so I'm not really sure what that means, but those are the discounts. You have a black dial with a hint of sunburst, and it actually does have a pretty nice sunburst effect to it. Everything's printed. You have a cutout for the day-date function, and you have a chapter ring with the minute track. Down here you can see it says chronograph. I'm not really sure what they mean by that, because it's definitely not a chronograph. I'm pretty sure they meant to maybe put chronometer, which again wouldn't make any sense because this is not chronometer certified. So not really sure what they're going for there. I really don't know what to say about that. It just shouldn't be on there. So definitely first mistake that I found. The hands are kind of fence post style hands, and you do have what appears to be some lume applied. Not really the best finishing though. It's definitely hard to tell on this camera because I don't have a macro lens yet, but there's definitely some rough looking surfaces on there. You might be able to tell, I'm not sure if you can, but when you look at it up close in person, you can certainly see when you're really inspecting this closely. However, you're not going to really see it in day-to-day use. So, bezel is wooden, and it's nicely matched with the inner links of the bracelet. I do like the color combo that they have on here. They have two different color options. I asked them to send me this one because I do prefer this one over the other one. But I'll put up both color options for you on screen so you can take a look. Crown is 4.8 millimeters. It's unsigned, and yeah, at 4.8 millimeters, it's pretty small. It's definitely not the easiest crown to use, but it works. So you have an all wooden bracelet, and you have a stainless steel pressed clasp. And even though it's pressed, it's actually decent quality for a pressed clasp, I will say. It's pretty sturdy. It looks like it's a pretty thick gauge of metal, and it functions well. So really not too bad on the clasp here, although you don't have any micro adjustments. So you better hope that when you size this bracelet, it's going to fit you. You also have split pins in the bracelet, so if they do actually provide this tool for you when you buy this watch, then you will be able to size it as soon as you get it, because it does work properly. I did size this watch with this tool, so and here, let me take the tool out and show you what it looks like. So here it is. Now it's all metal, and it's actually pretty durable. It's definitely not cheap. It's not gonna fall apart on you or break on you. There's no plastic pieces in it, so yeah, not bad that they provide this. So the case back, like I said, it appears to be a hard plastic. You've got a little picture on there of a tree. You've got their brand name, which I don't know how to pronounce. It's HNATUY, and then it says Guardian below. So I don't know how you pronounce that, but I guess that's the name of this watch. However you pronounce that, Guardian. And then it says unique design on top, which I will agree with that. It is unique. And it says chronometer back here, which is again why I said that they probably meant to put chronometer here. But again, it shouldn't say that. This is definitely not chronometer certified. So I'm not really sure why they're trying to put that on the dial, or on the case back or the dial. My advice to you guys, if you're watching, take that off the dial and take that off of the case back. There's no reason for that to be on there. No one expects this $45 wooden watch to be chronometer certified, so there's really no need for that. The movement is an unknown quartz movement, and it does have a day-date function. I will say that the second hand seems to be lining up pretty closely with all those indices. It's not quite perfect, but it's actually a lot closer than a lot more expensive watches that I've seen. So decent job on that. However, so I hacked the movement, as you can see when I pull it out to the final position, and I can set the time in that final position. But if I go into the second position to set the date, I can turn it clockwise to set the date. But when I try to turn counterclockwise, it doesn't do anything. So in order to actually change the day, you have to go all the way around until it switches the day over. So I guess in order to change the day, you have to just go all the way around to whatever day it is, and then finally go back and set the date, which is not ideal. I'm not really sure if this is just the way the movement works or what, but it certainly should not be that way. Also, I did receive 2 watches from them. The first watch I received was totally faulty. The quartz movement wasn't working at all. I couldn't actually set the hands because they weren't spinning when I'd spin the crown, and also the second hand was getting caught up right around this area right here, and it would just stop moving. So yeah, they're definitely using a very cheap quartz movement. So again, it's not an expensive watch, but I would have liked to see them put a little better movement in here, because you can get a much better movement than they used in this for not very much money. The lume, like I said, the hands do have some lume applied, and it looks like it's probably just some C3 Luminova. I don't think they're using Super Luminova, but it's actually not bad. Of course, there's none on the dial. It's just on those hands, and none on the second hand. So just on the hour and the minute hand. But you know, lume is not something that I expected to see on this watch, or at least didn't expect to see very much of it. So I'm not gonna hold that against them too much. So let's talk pros and cons. Pros, it's definitely an interesting design, and some of you might really like it. It's personally not my taste, but that's just me personally. It's inexpensive, so that's definitely another pro. And the 80% biodegradable, that's definitely a pro. You have to mention those things. Cons, yeah, the random words on the dial and the case back, obviously chronograph, this is not a chronograph. Chronometer, this is not chronometer certified. So having those on the dial and the case back are just ridiculous. They just shouldn't be there. Also, the day not working properly, the fact that I can't set the day with the crown in that second position is definitely a problem. And lastly, that crown is too small. It's very hard to use. I just don't like it. I wish they would have Made it just a little bit bigger, so it would have been easier to grip and easier to use, but it's just the way it is. Wrist check, I've got on this vintage Submariner by San Martin, and this is the new version with the applied indices, new PT5000/SW200 upgrade. So I will have a review coming out on this very soon, so stay tuned for that, guys. But here it is on wrist, and I gotta say it's actually pretty comfortable. It's really not too bad, but it's just a little too big for me. I'm just not a fan of this size, but some of you might really like this, especially if you have bigger wrists. So yeah, it does fit pretty well, but that is just me. Like I said, because there's no micro adjust, it might be hard to get a good fit, but that's what it looks like on wrist. Honestly, guys, wooden watches just aren't my thing. That being said, I know there are plenty of you that like watches like this, and if this one didn't have all the issues that I pointed out in the review, I would have a lot easier time recommending this to you guys. I really do appreciate this company for sending this watch in for review, but you guys definitely have some work to do before an honest reviewer can actually recommend this watch to their audience. Hope you guys learned something today. I will be getting out a review on this new San Martin either today or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. That's going to wrap up the review today, guys, so remember to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell icon to be notified when I release a new video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and remember to keep watching out.